Sorry. Be right there. I need to fix this green screen a bit. So hey there. Good morning or afternoon. Hey Lemony. Every day you want to come out. Didn't let you wear pink. I'm listening. Hey Elijah, good morning to you. We're gonna get more. There we go. Want to hear a little more game audio on my end. But it's, you know, I'm just listening a Lemony, but I'll just say that, you know, it's fine if you ever don't watch or you need or want to take a break. I'm sorry that I can't give you concrete advice because I don't know. Some nice things from people. I'll have to thank them for that. You know, I didn't come out for a really long time, and I wish I'd been more open about it. But you know, I think I could have told my parents sooner. But I don't know. I didn't trust them. Speaking personally. I don't know how things might have or could have been different. You know, and I still feel lucky that they both were accepting and supportive of me. Oh, that's a pretty nice jacket, actually. Yeah, you want to wear pink and, you know, I mean, I don't know if it's just stating the obvious, but I think you should be able to. It's just seems so strange to me to, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't make sense. It's not a rational thing to be against. Pink is a good color. It's a fine color. The ideas of, you know, only these or those people can wear such and such color is... I don't know, that's like greeting card stuff or something. It's just a flimsy concept to my mind. Might save this one. I actually have too many presents here for villagers today. If they get embarrassed of just pink, yeah, I think I know what you mean. I think I know what you're saying. I offer you my sympathy. I don't know what to do in your position at all. But, you know, when you do want to be here, you know, you're free to be and wear what you want. Wish I could offer more than that. Oh, hey, thank you, Elijah. I need a new accessories stand. Let's take a look at that. You know, I don't know what, you know, exactly. things are like for everybody in chat, but to the extent that it's helpful, I'm willing to try to share my own experiences. You know, I don't know what much more I can do, but you're welcome here. And thank you again for this. I'm going to put it into storage for now, but I will try to find a place for that feeling powerful thing. Well, that's okay. If you just want to sit back and feel that, that's fine. I don't have any plans really for today to tell you all the truth. As somewhat discussed yesterday, I might be tunneling through part of my land to, both to try to make sort of an access road to Red's Beach, but also, to try to make another sort of feature spot around the town. And if I do sound sleepier than usual, I am just starting on my cup of coffee here. And I don't mean to change topics too quickly or anything. Feel free to, you know, a little venting time is okay. I'll just be going about a few of the basic rounds here. But as I said, I don't have any really, I don't have very concrete ideas for today. It's Monday. I'll be going until 10 as usual. I will probably need to check my phone a little bit. Where is that, by the way? Actually, I should, it's in my pocket, that's good. Let's talk to Gulliver here. So what's the deal with Pirate Gulliver then? I thought that was, who might be showing up at this point. You made a new outfit for the week, Lemony, that's cool. Gage got rattled pretty bad. Face that screams ample free time. I guess a scuba mask will do that. Not doing a lot of scuba diving. Without a decent amount of free time, I would venture. This is a lot of text for the same thing every time, but it's okay. I'll help you, Gulliver. Oh, it's kind of like a weird cowboy. That sounds cool. I mean, cowboys are already... I mean, you know, like it's such a cultural icon, right? That I think most people are kind of used to it, but that's kind of a strange outfit. You know, the fringe, the chaps, boots, the spurs, there's a lot happening in that outfit. What could I say? I guess I'll just comb the beach a little bit here, check the other side, without grabbing a recipe. I'll check my turnips in a moment. Get our first reading of the week. Let's see if I can one-hand this for a bit. I have a feeling my camera just got like out of position or something. Could have checked it before going live. I don't much feel like trying to position it correctly and mess with the green screen at the same time. Sorry about the little bit of like fuzz there though. The ripped short shorts, yeah, I think those were called like the torn I want to say torn cutoffs. No. What were those called? Were they called ripped something? I think I know exactly what you're talking about, Lemony. Not remembering the name of it. If I don't see it, I'll check my closet since I know it's in there. Oh, worn out, it's the last thing on here. I probably hit on it. The light blue or black. Got the two options in here for the colors of denim. Hey Mason, good afternoon to you. Good to see you. How are you doing today? Both for 2,000, you got it. There's a light blue. Good, glad to hear that. Just chilling here so far. Taking it easy. Oops, let's change. Send us another gift. Alright, there you go. Oh, I thought I liked it. I thought it was off to a good start there, Mason. I'm curious to see how closely it, you know, sticks to the plot. You know, so far it's pretty cool. It's a nice retelling. Definitely got a sense of like the comic layout and all that. Yeah, keep it up. Oh, thanks, Lemonade. Appreciate that. Yeah, I haven't gone back and played any more Breath of the Wild. I'll let people know about that. I've got a few. I don't know when I'll get that on stream exactly. After I finish Pokemon Snap, I think probably. 9,045 before bed push-ups, that's sure a lot. Oh. Yeah, never mind. Alright, let's see what it is though. I think I have this. Definitely have this. Yeah, you got it. It's meant to rhyme. I just need the one more communicator part. I bet that's, a clam, I tell you. Oh, okay. What was the, file thing? Oh, keep sending letters. 200 letters. Oh, which emote is that one? Flip switch. Okay. Yeah, I guess if it's on someone's channel, if they change it, it gets updated, right? I don't know that one. Really? It's a good one, though. Did it used to be a Pride one? Really? I guess that streamer decided to change it. You know, I actually did check in, like, Twitch's official Pride stuff is going until, like, the 16th, I'm pretty sure. For the chance to unlock the Twitch Pride emotes and stuff. Yeah, I definitely want to see Lemony. Which I've had, like, bad luck on. I've been in a lot of streams and I haven't picked up any more emotes yet. What's up, O'Hare? Oh yeah. Had a rainbow heart before. Yeah, sounds like that streamer changed it. It's too bad. Could have just left it, if you ask me. And I still have more, I still have at least one more flag to put up after this one, by the way. Tell you when, are you saying your gates are open? How many? Or when my gates are open? I just want to know. Either is, like, pretty fine with me today. Do I have raid alerts? It might just come through as a host, I'm not sure. I see notifications in the Twitch sidebar that I have up on my other screen. But I think for some reason it might just come through as a host. I wish there was some other way to get rid of these recipes. Like, I wish you could just mystery gift them to people when I open my gate. Yeah, what am I doing? I'm just gonna check turnips real quick. Then I'll open my gate. You can't host anymore. Are you doing it from your channel? Or are you trying to do it in my chat still? I think that might have been a problem before. You have to go over to the chat on your page and do, like, /host. But let's pull up our turnip corner here. Yeah, my camera definitely got... I'm gonna mess with this just a little bit. Yeah, see, it should be like that. Yeah, I know we're talking about hosting. I'm just saying that if you try to host while you're still, like, in this text channel, it won't let you. You have to go to your own chat to do it. Hey, Taken. Good morning. How you doing? I'm just messing with my camera a little bit while I look at turnip prices. See if that's any better here. Okay, I think that's looking better. Yeah, I don't know about buttons for hosting. And sure thing, Lemony. Yeah, I'll open my gates up in a second here. Hey, thank you so much for the follow there, Mansour Gaming. Appreciate that. Hey there, good morning to you. I stream Animal Crossing every morning, just so you know. And that was 88 bells for Monday morning. Get that in here. And yeah, thank you for the host there, Toxic. I appreciate it. So 86% chance of a large spike. You will, see, around there. Definitely, I'm going to be keeping a close eye on it this week. And I'll let people know. Do I still need corners? Not, I don't think so. Like those ring corners? I think I've cataloged all of those. Thank you though. And let's check what's hot today. Bamboo stool and an iron door plate. Iron door plate might be worth mashing out a few. You know, Lemony, if you ever ended up doing like speedruns on Twitch or something like that, you could definitely pick that as your like notification sound. I'm tempted to do it myself, but it's just not quite the not quite what I'm going for. Yeah, I'm opening my gate right now. Just grabbing these goldies. Can I mail you a scuba suit? Let me send you one right now, Mason. While I can easily, I'm gonna send you one of these cool ones. I'm doing that right now because once I open my gate, I will not be able to. Alright, so yeah, that'll be waiting for you when you get back online. That's been my favorite one I've seen so far, although I've seen a few others. I think I've got like the yellow one on me right now. EA is a pretty awful company. Unfortunately, most of the big game developers, it turns out, are kind of bad in a few ways. Not going to go on a full diatribe there about it, but I've definitely been paying attention to what I've been seeing going down online. Apparently Ubisoft is pretty horrible, it turns out, which is a shame. Ubisoft was one that, like, I thought had kind of turned around their reputation. Like, Assassin's Creed was good, and then they did too many too fast. And then they actually, you know, made a decision of like, alright, we're gonna stop, you know, pushing these so hard. And they got way better again. And they've done a few other, like, interesting and good games, but, you know, now it turns out that it might have just been, whoops. I see that in the mod, I'll let that through. Yeah, Nintendo used to, whoops, sorry, I did this friends only accidentally. That was just a mispress, I'm sorry about, mix-up. I'm just gonna reopen that. But yeah, Nintendo was, like, really sent, like, in localization and things like that, they were very, like, oh no, nobody can see that. I don't know, you know, I can't speak to what they were like for their Japanese publishing. It's just outside of what little history I know. But, yeah, they've been very, like, skittish and reluctant to embrace things. If not, like, overtly, you know, doing something not so good. Definitely, I think, you know, slowly getting better. But I think, like, it's funny, like, I think the first Sims, like, the first Sims game that came out, had no problem with, like, gay relationships, like, that was in there in the code. But, you know, a modern game like, Tomodachi Life is the one I think I heard about. Nah. Unimaginable. Couldn't do it. Couldn't program it. Breath of the Wild stream soon? I'm not sure when. Maybe by the end of this week. Yeah, that's one we've talked about, Mansour Gaming, and I completely agree. Animal Crossing as a specific example shows how they've been I mean, I think really slow to change and, you know, still worth some criticism for how long it's taken them, but at the same time, like, recognition and appreciation for how, you know, finally in this new Animal Crossing, you can, in New Leaf, you could wear whatever you wanted, but you would get little comments about it, that were just unnecessary. They weren't, like, overtly hostile. Honestly, what you might call kind of a microaggression. Like, oh, that's a bold choice. That sort of depends on how you read it, but, New Leaf, or sorry, this one, New Horizons, has been definitely a few steps in good directions. You know, and the other one I'm thinking of is how they finally, like, recognize that people of color exist and don't force, you know, those playing to stand out in the sun for hours to get, like, a tan on the character for a darker skin tone. That's one that, like, for a life simulator, I do think took them too long, but I'll give them, you know, I'm glad they've done it. I think New Horizons is a great game, and I've been happy to promote it to people. Oh, thank you. I mean, I try to pay attention to, but I don't know. I'm just gonna ramble. But yeah, that dodo code is up and out there for anyone. I don't know if there's still a tanning mechanic, actually, Lemony. I was wondering about that. And what did you say before? Nintendo, Babby Boy, can't handle gays. 10-year-old, I've already come out, get on my level. Yeah, you know, everybody's different, everybody's got a different journey, but I do know for me that I knew, I think when I was like 7, maybe 7, when I saw the word gay in a book for the first time, and I asked my mom what it meant, and got a, you know, I think a fairly neutral, but just sort of like casually close-minded explanation of like, oh, you can be straight or you can be gay, and here's what that means. And I was instantly in like a crisis because I was like, but neither though? What if neither? Or what if both? Like, and it was years until I was like, yeah, both is an option. There you go, you got your beach bod ready. Have I been swimming yet? Absolutely. Been doing actually quite a bit of swimming, and going after sea creatures. I might only be missing, I'll just pull up the Critterpedia for a second here. But I think for the southern hemisphere season, I think I might only be missing like 2 sea creatures so far. This one was like the last one I got, and it's really cool. I've meant to go try to find it in the museum actually to see how it looks in there. Yeah, this is the yellow leaf print wetsuit. Actually, Baba, baby boy. You need advice on your island. I have to start coming to visit. I'd like to visit. I'll try to. I'm happy to, you know, try to provide some advice. I don't feel like very much of an expert, to tell you the truth, but I'll try. I do need to buy a bunch of wrapping paper. You know, I was able to get to 5-Star Island, but I pretty much did that just by checking in with Isabelle, and for the most part, just doing what like her highlighted text said. Turnips are low currently. Let me pull that back up here. Monday morning price over there, can't quite reach it. 88 bells. So definitely hold on to them for now. But you can see, possibly as early as Tuesday afternoon, we might be seeing a pretty nice pretty nice chance to profit there. And I'm using this website and plugging my numbers in there every week. I recommend it. That dryer, this is a mini fridge, I'm pretty sure. I can send it to you though. But it is a mini fridge. I'm not sure if I've cataloged a dryer. I'll check though. I mean, you first heard gay when being roasted in school. See, yeah, that's worse. That's definitely a worse context. That is the Turnip Profit website, which is at turnipprofit.io. It's very useful. You need the mini fridge too. Can make that happen. I'm pretty sure we're friends. No, I just have a drying rack, no dryer. My gates are open if you happen to be playing right now, so if you want to come over and pick up the mini fridge, it's up to, you can, or I can grab it for you and send it to you later. Gay or not gay, it shouldn't matter. I mean, I agree. That would be great. You know, and that's an ongoing sort of fight and struggle. In terms of using the website, I can show you actually, because I have it, so the way I have it integrated, and we'll just do a little bit of turnip time here. And I'll say if you need the dodo code, you can pull that up in chat with the ! dodo. But so when you go to turnipprofit.io, yeah, no problem, Taken. I'll send that to you in the mail then. Yeah, I remember. I'm still not sure if I'm saying that right by saying Sahar or Sahar. So apologies if/when I get that wrong. Let me pull up, I have like a pointer here. So basically, oh gee, Lemony. You just answer the question starting from the top of Turnip Profit, whether it's your first time buying, and whether you know your previous pattern or not. You know, obviously after your first time buying, it's always going to be no. In terms of previous pattern, it helps if you know what it was last week, but if it's your first week using the website, you're not going to know. And that's okay, because it gives you this option over here, where I don't know. And you do want to start it on Sunday, I think. I don't know if it's like too late by Monday to start using it, but I think the Sunday price is very important for the most part. But once you have this information in, and basically, you know, go in Sunday morning, buy some turnips from Daisy, and update Turnip Profit. And if you use it in your browser, it'll remember the information between sessions. Or you might want to write down your turnip price somewhere else if you want to be safe. But I've been okay with just letting the website remember. Oh, what webcam do I use? Let me double check. It's a Logitech C270. Yeah, a Logitech C270. Cheap, and it does a pretty good job. So once you've done that first part on Turnip Profit, you're going to put in your prices. You want to check twice a day if you can. The really convenient way to do it is to check at like 11:59. The problem with that is it doesn't give you any time to sell your turnips, but you know, if you want to get the two prices really quickly, you know, check at like 11:50 a.m. and then again at noon, and you'll get your two prices for the day, because the first day is almost never going to be the day you want to sell on. Make brain smoosh for good time. Alright, thanks, Lemmy. It's in your favorites, but you didn't know it saves your entries? It should. Different browsers are going to behave differently, unfortunately, but it should save your information. Hey Mecha, good morning to you. Good to see you here. How are you doing? We're just talking a little bit about that website, Turnip Profit, which I've made it clear. No affiliation whatsoever, it is just a fantastic tool. Yeah, no problem. I hope that you are able to make some good bells off that. I'm just gonna give some presents here while I'm walking around. Have you run to Able Sisters since it opened their Lemony, or you got other things on your mind? That's okay. Meg is sleepy, gonna try to go to bed early today. That's a good idea. I think I got to bed kinda early. I mean, sort of. Like, I got into bed, I think, I don't know, 9 p.m. or something last night. But I didn't turn my lights out properly and go to sleep until a couple hours later. Which is that's not great. That's, one of the worst habits I used to have was falling asleep, like, on my laptop. That's when I was a teenager, basically. But I would just browse the web until I fell asleep in front of my laptop. And that was terrible for me in so many ways. I've tried to have, like, no screen time before bed, but I honestly wasn't any good at it. I already looked at this stuff. Excuse me. I don't need KK Ballad, right? I'll need, like, a few more of these. 4 more songs. And not KK Ballad. Yeah, I hope you're able to get good sleep there. Okay. Feel free to duck out anytime, of course. I'm glad for me, because I thought I was gonna have a harder time sleeping last night. How hot it's getting. Really thinking about putting an air conditioner in here, but that fan is still just cutting it. I'm gonna go smoosh smoosh on brain so you don't get bad thinking pain. That's a tough one. You do need to find those good distractions. I think those can be pretty, like, there's a certain amount of escapism that's a pretty invaluable, like, coping tool. Oh, I think I can tell, but, you know, on the other hand, I take it seriously. I don't think you'd be saying it or making the jokes if you weren't coping with something real. So if I get too serious, you can let me know. That's me a lot of the time. I know. I use a C270. I do. That's the active web camera I have right now. It's I actually have it like rubber banded to a tripod. Currently, that's the latest way I have it set up. What, do you have one of those lying around or something, Eli? You love this game, Taken? Me too. I'm grabbing that mini fridge, by the way, so I don't forget about it. I can't send you the mail right now because my gates are open, but I'll put that in like a reserved spot in my inventory. That's why when you were in school, when you were serious about your trouble, people think jokes. Yeah. That's trouble. Ah, you're thinking about which one to get. Okay. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing about the C270 is I did buy this, I'm not sure how many years ago now. And I have no doubt that Logitech has like better, I mean, I know that right now it's actually really hard to get a webcam because, you know, everybody was staying home, should be staying home. I know not everybody can, but, you know, webcams like suddenly became impossible to buy because everybody bought them. Oh, okay. Mason got to go. See you later then. Take care. Go tumbly bumbly downstairs. Ooh. Don't fall downstairs. Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, I'm sorry about that difficulty. I have no idea what to recommend in the case of like things being unavailable. You know, if you can find one that has, like, if you can find any that has good reviews, and I would say does at least like 720p video, then you can probably make it work. But I know, like, I heard that webcams had gotten basically unavailable. Oh yeah, and Taken said in chat, an offer to be friends. And Taken seems cool. Been a nice guest on my island. That's a good offer. No, you could lose balloon gift and flowers. Oh yes. That's actually not where I've lost the most ones. Although that's because I'm like most careful around the flowers. But the rocks on your beach, there's a bunch of spots where if you shoot your balloons down over them, the balloon gift will get lost in the, like, it'll disappear on the rocks. Not even in the water, although I've done that too. I had a feeling Croak might be crafting here. Yeah, I have a feeling that, I mean, webcams should be coming back in stock. I know manufacturing is just not where it's been before the pandemic, and it's, you know, not going to be at like a full level for, you know, I don't know. But I imagine webcams should be coming back in stock. Have I tried to go dive off the beach rocks? Yes, I have. Have you, Mecha, tried to go dive off of the airport pier? Haha, when you feel like your life ends and you just chill as a funny man. Yeah, hopefully you'll be able to find one that works for you, Eli. Good luck on that. You know, and, you know, obviously it sounds like you want to use one, but if, you know, I know that there are people who stream without a face cam. I mean, you probably know that. I'm sure I'm not telling you something you don't know, but if you have to get started, that's an option. Or if you want to get started before you have one. Put a cartoon or something in the corner. Or nothing. It's nice, you know, I feel like the streamers I watch have a leap of faith time. Yeah, you got to try that one, Mecha, for sure. For sure. I left like Twitch running overnight. A little bit trying to idle to try to get some of the Twitch Pride stuff still. But also because I just left it off what I had been watching on. I always forget you gotta take your wetsuit off here. Yeah, no harm in that. You know, I think, I mean, all streams change over time, but especially early on, I think. Good retro dresses, those are nice. But so the stream, when I like turned my monitor on for my computer this morning, the stream on, uh, it took me a little bit, but the streamer was using, I think, FaceRig, probably. I don't know if there's another common program that people use that does the same thing as FaceRig, but basically looked like a sock puppet talking and like blinking and stuff. It was kind of cool. Back to serious. Is it bad when little, if you got in trouble with no punishment, you would punish yourself? Probably not. That's, you know, I couldn't tell you. I mean, I'm not a psychologist. I can tell you what I think about that, which is like, I can relate myself, and there's a certain degree to which like a conscientious person will and can and should like feel the need, like feel shame and feel the need to modify behavior. But there's like, I think pretty quickly there's a line where self-punishment is, I think it can be a problem, and this is, again, I'm thinking about myself and something I've been thinking about for a long time, but like, self-punishment can be a way to get out of dealing with the original problem, because, you know, I have to stop myself at like lashing out when I make a mistake, because just like, you know, doing something to punish myself for making a mistake doesn't necessarily, you know, the logic is if you do it, then you won't make the mistake again. But most of the time, you need like a person, or me, you know, needs to actually do something specific or different, you know, if there's really a problem, to address it. You know, sometimes, I mean, and that's the thing, is it can be really complicated, because sometimes it can be like an appropriate expression, again, of like of shame and your conscience speaking up. But the, you know, there can be a lot of problems when either it's just like you know, sometimes like a cultural or like an environmental concept of shame that ends up being something you need to overcome, or if you end up doing kind of more harm in your self-response. Yeah, see, and that's a, I think that's a line to draw, is that I would say you shouldn't be hurting yourself, pretty flatly. You know, I don't know if I can even elaborate on that further. I understand the impulse, and I'm not going to get into it. I've had struggles with that. I've had problems with that. From a young age. Bob is sick. This is terrible. We have to get Bob medicine. But that, it just, I mean, flatly, it doesn't help. It might feel like a momentary relief, but it's, you know, it is more of a problem. I think it is more of exacerbating what the problem is. And usually, I mean, again, I'm speaking for myself, but it's sort of an expression of like feeling unable to confront certain issues that I was having. And that's speaking really broadly. I mean that in a lot of different ways. You know, I've said it before, and I don't mind, you know, clearly, longtime viewers of this stream will know that I'm often not hesitant to repeat myself. But I think it's really important to treat yourself like you would want a best friend to treat you. And, you know, really use your imagination to think about that. And it can be kind of a lonely thought sometimes, especially if you're, you know, if you feel isolated. But that's when it's sort of most important, in my opinion. Just really important to be kind to yourself. Off topic, do I believe in God? I don't know if I really... I guess, you know, I don't know. I think... that's... I feel like that's such a... Normally one of those number one avoid these questions and you're just jumping on there. I don't personally. Not in a long time. Not as a religious thing, but I do, like, I identify most with Buddhist philosophy. And that was really because when I was like 20 or something and started reading like actual Buddhist source texts and had a class in it, it was just like, oh, this is all correct. This is all like everything that I've kind of figured out, but like actually written out in a thoughtful and like in a almost comprehensive framework. So there's a thing like secular Buddhism is sort of a small movement. And Taken's watching me at the grocery store. That's awesome. I think that is a big compliment, honestly. Hope I'm not using too much of your data. I don't know whether Twitch gives like quality options on my stream or not. I thought maybe since I'm doing it early in the morning, they might throw that bandwidth my way. But I hear that like most of the time, if you're a small streamer, Twitch like won't give you the transcoding option, which would mean this is all coming through at 1080p for the most part. Don't believe, but you're not atheist. That's where I was for a long time. A lot of times people will call themselves agnostic in that scenario, and that may or may not be a term that you find useful. Which I think is usually sort of defined as like questioning or skeptical or not sure or something like that. Let's put this on to save some space, honestly. Yeah, I was raised like Episcopalian, which was okay. Interestingly, both my parents got a lot more into that as they got older. Or almost simultaneously with me going the opposite direction. Yeah, no problem, Eli. If you don't know what to call yourself, that's, you know, you don't need to find, you know, there's no real, you don't need to fit into a category or find one that, like, fits. I don't believe you can have two of every animal on a ship and take magic powers. I will say, I mean, it's important to stay respectful of, you know, I am not, I don't know, I try to stay respectful of, like, other people's beliefs. It's hard sometimes because, you know, when there can be such a contradiction between what you think and what they think, you know, and you always gotta draw a line somewhere. Oh, you practice witchcraft? Okay. I know that there can be a lot of different terms for that, actually, depending sort of on the region and practice. And I wouldn't, I won't even hazard a guess. I forgot to get medicine for Bob. I'm gonna do that next, and then I'm gonna get on the presents pretty serious-like. And I think my gates are still open, probably. When I was, I want to say in 5th grade or 6th grade, I bought like a modern spells book or something like that. I was kind of interested in that. Never ended up like doing anything with it, I don't think, just read it. And Lemony practices the art of tomfoolery. Bloody fingy at night? That sounds... I don't know. Like some kind of strange cult. Demons are cool. I can see that. I definitely know some people would get, like, worked up about that. I remember one time... man, no, I don't know if I should... I've, like, The ideas about them are pretty cool. I find, like, conceptually, a lot of some pretty interesting things going on there. Some people would say it's no joking or laughing matter. I think they're an interesting, like in a biggest way for me, like as a literary concept. A lot of interesting things. Demons. And artistic. Yeah, it's interesting. That's one thing, even though I was raised like somewhat in a religious house. A lot of those things didn't, like, have a lot of impact on me, and maybe that was, like, more of a Protestant upbringing. But I remember, seeing stuff like, what's the one? Oh, gee, I'm just blanking on the name now, so this is going nowhere, unfortunately. I'm thinking of a specific movie that I can't remember the name of. One that Mecca and I saw actually in theaters, so maybe he would remember. Got finger on paper once when bored. Oh no. That's not so good. In practicing witchcraft, you deal with the spiritual world and it's so confusing. Yeah, I don't know anything about that myself. I can only imagine, really. Bath towel wrap. I just gave him... No, I just gave that to Croak. That's it. Need more deets? Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's always the case. I mean, I feel I was lucky to read, like, a few specific things when I was a kid that, I mean, for me, I feel lucky that it made me extremely open-minded about the variety and validity of different people's beliefs. Constantine. Oh, the movie? I think I saw that one. But I really don't remember it, to tell you the truth. Do rituals sometimes on me? Sure. I can definitely understand that. Alright, you need a hat here, my man. Ingiko Red. Oh no. Yeah, none of that. And wait, is there? Okay. Forgot you did head out, didn't you? Got Demons and Angels. Okay, yeah, not the one I'm thinking of. This was a horror movie, and I don't know if it'll help refresh your memory, Mecha, but we went to it, and I was still driving my first car. That was before that broke, and I remember that because there was like some spooky sound out of the cassette deck as we were like leaving the theater, and I remember it. I think it was like pretty spooky. And I was like, I don't know if that's the cassette deck or the radio in this thing. But maybe it's a spooky ghost from the movie we just watched. I think it had like a Ouija board in it. It was like found footage scary movie. They end up making like a whole bunch of them. You want a friend like me, IRL, Lemony? I don't know if I'm actually a very good... I appreciate that. I haven't always been a good friend to people. I know that. I mean, I try, but I've blanked people. I've like gotten really wrapped up in my own problems. I have a lot of problems I need to work on with myself. I appreciate that, and I don't know. Not to put myself down. I hope you get a good friend though, and I hope you feel like you're in a good friendly place while you're here. That's the one, Mecha. Thank you. Paranormal Activity. Yeah, that's exactly the one I was thinking of. And I just remember that one, I mean not the name of it, but I remember the movie pretty well. Because I liked it, and I thought it was good, and it was just also like completely non-scary to me. Just like nothing about the concept or like the events of it spooked me so much. Even though like the whole time I was kind of nodding, being like, yeah, I could see this being scary for other people. Eli loves found footage movies. I've only seen a few. I only watched Blair Witch for the first time recently, the original. Lemony, only two friends, ones who are homophobic, sometimes punch you, all you could get. I'm sorry. You know, people can change and evolve. And I sure hope that can either happen or you can find, you know, more support somewhere. I was bad about that once. I've almost talked about this before, but when I was in like 5th grade, I think, again, I had one friend who I used to like join in with other kids and being really terrible and like just saying that he was gay. And for no reason, you know, I don't know why. It seemed funny, and other people were doing it, and it's something I'm still ashamed of, although the thing that makes it better is that he at least was like, you know, hey, why are you doing this? Like, we're friends, and like, please stop. And I said, I'm sorry. I said I was sorry, and I'm pretty sure I never did it again. You know, so that it was bad of me, and I do still feel ashamed about doing it in the first place. But you know, if you make a mistake, like, apologize and change your behavior, and it really counts for a lot. 2 friends that tried to out you, that's terrible. That's one thing that's just really, really super not okay to do. You know, and I think, you know, just looking back on it, I'm sure there was like a non-zero amount of it that was like wanting to deflect, because I was afraid very early on of people like knowing. that I was not straight. You know, so that is how a lot of that can happen. Not every time, and it's, you know, when you run across, like, it's not a great response when running into homophobes to be like, oh, they must be gay. Sometimes it's true. Sometimes they're just bigots. Not really, and in general, just like speculating on who is and isn't is not a great road to go down. You know, just people gotta say for themselves. I really think. I don't think I've given anything to Monty here. They'd look good in a school jacket though, or a rugby uniform. No. You know, so at least ever since then, I have really tried to be at least supportive of other people. And definitely got like my own taste later on in school, eventually, of like other kids spreading rumors about me and junk like that. That was, yeah. I mean, you tried to think you are gay, and people called me it, didn't matter. They think gay people are bad. Yeah. That is like a... I think I know what you're getting at. And, it can be a big thing to overcome. You know, and just what that reminds me of is like... pretty much, you know, as soon as like the first time I heard the word and like the concept of bisexual, I was kind of like, oh, finally. Like, oh, thank goodness. There is like, I'm not nothing. I'm not gay and I'm not straight. You know, here's something that maybe I can attach myself to for a bit. And, you know, unfortunately, like, after sort of like my first times running into that, pretty much every other time I heard the word or saw the concept was like TV making crummy jokes about it. And for the most part, a lot of jokes about like bisexual men don't exist. Just, it was a big thing in the 90s. And to some extent, like, the early 2000s, but, like, just a lot of jokes about, like, oh, bisexual men are all just, like, gay. Or they're, I don't know, like, just a lot of bad stuff. That's you with abrosexual, that's awesome. And, you know, for me, just talking about myself again, like, now I don't... Now I sort of feel more at home with like the word and concept of pansexual. But you know, the thing is, they're sort of, for me, they're also kind of interchangeable words. So as of like a few years ago, I haven't really been sure what to say or which to say first. They're both good. The 90s were confusing. It was a very weird time. Hasn't really gotten less weird. And I made it possible. I mean, that's like... feels like I've done one good thing recently, at least. And still a few more flags to go. Which, by the way, today's is one that was really new to me. Like a brand new word for me, neutroise. Which I'm just gonna put that into chat for like the spelling. Which I just don't think I'd actually heard or seen this word before at all. And I'm, you know, it's taken me a long time to... I mean, it's really taken me a long time to come around to embracing, you know, the straight up kind of queerness of myself. And it's taken me being in a position where I feel like more supported and more safe, and like out of school for 8 years. You know, I don't work in an office or anything like that, but you know, I have been really embracing it more, and finding that rewarding. Aw, Lemony. If you want to go, I'm gonna take that in a Splatoon sense. Because I don't want to like censor you or your feelings at all. You're walking a dark line, you know? I'm sorry for that. Someone left a saw? I think it's pretty clearly holding things here, Celia. But I don't know. I really sympathize a lot, Lemony. I mean, you're in a... I know you're different. You're a different person in a different position. But, you know, to the extent possible made by these intangible but very real internet connections, you know, I feel for you. Your whole life's a dark line. You know, a conversation for another time, honestly, but, before I started, I mean, when I started streaming Animal Crossing, I've just been, no, I've had a number of kind of breakdowns in my life. And something that, just to give context, I wasn't sure whether or not I was even coming out of my last one when I started streaming Animal Crossing. It's been, to an extent, a hopeful gesture and something of a recovery tool for me after the last year, 2019, was kind of one of the worst years of my life, and you know, other people had it harder, but you know, for me, I've had a few doozies. Again, it's a different conversation for sure, but no, just so you know that, like, there can be dark times, and there can be surprising light times afterward. And I've been sort of getting worried again because it feels like things have almost been going a little too well recently. You know, able to move without any major disasters. I kind of like where I'm living. Things are like weird but stable right now for me at home. Breakdown when you were a latchkey kid in 6th grade, yeah. I'm sorry, that's rough. That's hard. You know, when things are going worse, I hope things get better. I know that's a simple thing to say, but I really do. You know, I hope that you can find more support. It's hard going alone, and I imagine that, I don't know, it's something I've actually thought a lot about because, you know, for a pretty long time in your life, you have some connection with people younger than you. I mean, if you go to a K through 12 school, it depends on the size. I mean, if you go to like a big public high school or something like that, you're not going to see too much of the younger grades. But if you go to like a younger, or a smaller rather, like K through 12, you keep like some connection with younger people, you know, but once you leave that, I mean, for me, I felt like I got really disconnected from what younger people are like and going through. And I just wonder because, like, things were weird and, like, alarmist when I was growing up. And it seemed like even one generation after, I don't know, maybe things are just weirder and people are going crazier. That's just speculation. Every day when you get home, oh, your only friends were younger kids. When you were the youngest in 6th grade. Yeah, that was always a weird part about school. Like being too young or too old. I mean, that was a thing that I really ended up disliking about school, is just like, that's where I ingrained all of these, I mean, partly from home too, but I really just worked to make myself invisible for the most part. You know, just don't stand out, don't be too smart, don't raise your hand too much, don't, you know. If anything, I tended to be too quiet. And then, you know, that doesn't make you, like, that's still, like, sort of playing it on the safe side, but even that, you know, can be a problem. And, you know, I found out a couple of times I ended up in actually decent schools with actually mostly decent kids. Typically for like a year, and then I'd get yanked around, move again, something like that. School was the hardest. Like, if the classes weren't enough, just the social stuff was such a nightmare. And I really do think that there are better solutions. Like, there are schools with kind of better models set up. But, like, alternative schools don't get a very good rap a lot of the time. And the one that I used to go to actually closed down. It was like the best place that I ever went, kind of. In most ways. Doesn't exist, of course. And that makes me sad. That was like one of the only places where I was close to being, like, open and out. You were the opposite, Lemony. You were quiet. People thought weird, so you became the class clown, the happy man. I get that. I suspect that, I mean, when I was young, those kids, a lot of times I ended up being friends with. But sometimes you can get an idea for that. Oh, hey, welcome back, Taken. We're in like the last 10 minutes, and I just closed my gate, so I can actually send you this mini fridge now. But another thing is, like, I do have ADD or ADHD. I couldn't really tell you the difference. When I was diagnosed, it was ADD, and I think maybe these days it might be diagnosed as ADHD. I definitely do have, like, problems focusing on things that I'm not interested in, basically. And I know I ended up, like, being friendly or friends with a lot of other kids who got kind of lumped into that category of, like, you know, distracted or excitable. But who, you know, nonetheless, generally speaking, intelligent, and when, like, engaged with something that they were interested in, you know, just, like, really kind of a different story, different set of behaviors. ADD is spaciness without the hyperness. Happy dance around home, or happy dance around at school. and then come home and burst your emotions. Yeah. That's something I struggle with as like a mental health issue. I've also been diagnosed with I'll be upfront about it, with bipolar disorder. And one of the biggest, worst things about that for me, just as like an experience, is being able to go out and have a good time, and then like come back, the door shuts, and 5 seconds later I just feel like crushed. It can go both ways, but it's hard to deal with the sudden changes like that. It's still taking me active work to practice leveling things out for myself. Becca, you feel like you can have spurts of ADHD if you get real excited about something? Sometimes, and you know, I don't mean to like I've probably gotten too close to armchair psychoanalysis here, so please do remember that I'm in no way trained or professional to talk about mental health. I just share what I have experienced. But I know a big thing can be like manic behavior with ADHD. And for me it can be a problem because that's also sort of a symptom or behavior of being bipolar, is having both manic and depressive episodes. And sometimes it can, it can be an issue because it can seem useful sometimes. You know, a manic phase can help you clean your house or write a report or something. But generally they're things you want to have kind of a more active effort at leveling out rather than like trying to exploit for productivity. And that's just that, again, I'm speaking personally about mistakes I've made and things I've learned about me. Hey, morning Mars Girl, sorry, I just saw that. Good morning to you. Been a lot of more serious chat this morning, wasn't expecting. A lot of sharing, I mean a lot of good sharing, I think. Pain, but one of my favorite, I'm like paraphrasing here, but there's a good book series, sci-fi series, the Callahan's Time Traveling, or Time Traveler's Saloon. And there's some good themes in there that they put as basically like joy shared is joy multiplied, but pain shared is pain diminished. And, that might not like always be 100% immediate up front, but I think as a kind of as an ideal and something as like a working thought, that's something that I like a lot. I'm gonna use your funny at school. No more happiness for weekends. Not diagnosed, but you really need things perfect. Like cupboard won't close, you cannot look at it. The funny man's not real. Yeah. That's a lot there. I mean, and, that's something for you to, I don't know, that'll be your journey, because you do seem to have a good sense of humor, but, it might be a journey to find a way to use that to express yourself more than hiding things. But I'm going out on a limb there, I'm sorry. That's more speculation than I should probably go into. Opal does look good in that. One thing that you will hear people talk a lot about during Pride and in documents about, I mean in accounts of coming out and things like that, but the phrase like the authentic self or your authentic self. And that's something to come to know and to come to grips with, because it's important to just self-preservation kind of good mental health. There's a lot of good reasons to it. You won't be a comedian, you actually hate jokes. I don't want to make a joke out of that, but that's intrinsically like a funny concept. But also like a classic tragic framing. And it's something I've heard, you know, not always the case, but a lot of comedians, or at least many of the ones that are, you know, up there for funny reputations, will talk about like drawing their humor from a darker place. You know, that's certainly not the route that everyone goes or comes from. But I certainly know I've heard that. I'm just gonna like, I don't know what to do with these tree branches. I can't believe the day is almost over. Jokey man hate a funny joke. Yeah. I mean, sometimes I think that can give you a really sharp sense of humor, though. But, you know, I want you to know, you don't feel pressure to be funny here. You've been a great funny guest in chat, but, you know, if you want to take it off and steer clear, I mean, I think today's been a less jokey day overall, for sure. And that's okay. Did I do more terraforming today? I did not. I thought about it. And I closed my gates. But I haven't actually done any since I finished my route going around the back of the island. Maybe I'll check that out quickly. I've got 1 minute left here. I mean, maybe I'll go another extra long minute. It's okay. It's okay to do. If we're just talking, but... this is the wrong way. I'm running the wrong way. For some reason when you make jokes, your head hurts. Huh. I don't know, but that's interesting. And, you know, yeah, maybe you need a break from it for a bit. I couldn't tell you, but... Oh, thank you, Taken. I'm really trying to do the best I can. This, I was talking a little bit before about how last year was not a good year for me. And I feel like I didn't make good use of my time that I just could be doing something with. And it's okay, dude. You know, it's okay to take breaks and rest. You don't always have to be active or productive. It's really important, in fact, not to be, and to focus that time. But I just kind of did nothing last year, except sort of... I was just thinking about myself a lot. And this makes me feel like I'm doing something. Something good. Something of a net positive. And in a way, I don't know, I might really start clinging to that in a way. You know, not to just feel good about myself, but to try to keep putting good out. All you know are your beliefs, Lemony. You have not been yourself for so long. That's a hard place to start. You know, just don't feel like you have to rush. I know it's frustrating when things take a long time. I don't know, you know, there's so much like cliche talk about journeys, it's hard not to fall back on it. You know, I'll wish you good luck. I'll try to help however I can, honestly. I think I already have this one. Huh. But, you know, starting with your beliefs and your principles is actually pretty good. Having those, you know, if you have a sense of wrong and right, that's pretty good. Even if it's just about yourself and your actions. That's a pretty good place to start, I think. For most things anyway. Well, you know, I think you do have a good sense of humor, and I hope you find like a natural and satisfying way to express it if you want to, or you find a way to express non-funniness. We'll see. You can try out either here if you want to. And bye-bye to you, Lemony. Bye-bye, everyone. Thanks so much for being here today. I hope everyone has a good rest of their Monday. I hope your week gets off to a good start. I got some things to take care of that I'm worried about. I'll be truthful about you, but I'm going to try to just head into those face first this today. So thank you so much for being here. It means a lot to me. It helps me to talk. I've spent a lot of time not talking, and I used to think that I didn't care about it. I used to think it didn't matter much to me and that I preferred being silent, and turns out, you know, something I am learning pretty late in life is it's important. You know, maybe not to everyone, but it's important to me to feel like myself to actually talk to people. So thank you for being here. I meant to go and look at who's actually live, and somehow my browser's closed. That's a surprise. Normally I do keep that open during the stream. Oh, thanks, Mecca. You too, hope you get a good sleep. Satellite's on. That's great. Bye, Eli. Bye to you. Thanks to everyone who watched today. And take care out there. Let's see, /raid, that's the one. Is that gonna work? I hope so. Okay, there we go.